Okay, first off, I'd like to talk about the DAMA Act. The DAMA Act was signed in to act in 1996 by Bill Clinton. Number one, Bill Clinton obviously didn't know the pot he would stir, for lack of a better term. I'm not out here trying to say that gay marriage is completely and utterly right. What I am trying to say is that all human beings should have the right to make their own decision within a country that says we're free. In fact, one of my best friends, or old best friends as I now put it, was from Russia. Russia, Germany, Canada, and most of other countries, they have a lot more lenient legal system. For instance, we have so many laws signed onto the books and sub laws. You have a law basically saying what you can and can't say. Well, our Constitution says that we have the freedom of speech. But if we go out and we decide to speak the word at a public building, we could get thrown in jail for it. That's not free. We have the freedom of a free economy. Well, a free economy to me means that we should be able to, you know, start our own business, doing what we want to do. But in order to do that, we have to have at least $5,000 to start up, seeing as the government just wants their money. We have to pay for all kinds of things, such as business license. Then you've got to go by zoning laws, which zoning laws are mostly declared by city. But in that instance, most people can't even run their own business from home unless it's a web-based business. By this, I mean, what I'm really trying to say is this country's not free anymore. We're told basically who our president is, because it's always the person with more money, in my opinion, and the person that has the money to keep running just keeps running until the other person doesn't have any more. That's what I've viewed over these years. I'm 23 years old. I'm a regular guy. I have nothing against anyone. The only thing I have against anybody really is bigotry, prejudice, and racism, all that good stuff. Hold on just a second. I'm prejudiced against those who are prejudiced. I know it really makes no sense to most people, but really, if you think about it, prejudice against prejudice is about the only right prejudice. It's just simple thinking, in my opinion. Take it, for instance, back in the 60s when blacks, African Americans to be politically correct, decided to fight for their rights. I have nothing against the African Americans, the Mexicans, anyone. I'm not racist. I absolutely love everybody. Heck, some of the white people, and not being white, most of the white people I know are a lot worse than black people, Mexicans, Asians, and all the stereotyped people. It's really annoying. Um, yes, I'm trying to get into a bunch of issues here, but the one I really want to get into is the Marriage Act. DAMA has really contradicted itself by doing these things. Number one, it says that the federal government does not have to recognize marriage. In fact, it is not allowed to recognize same-sex marriage. Well, also, in our Constitution, each state makes its own laws, such as Massachusetts. Massachusetts is the state I got married in. I am in a same-sex marriage, but I got married in Massachusetts. I was told I could file my taxes with my better half. So we did so for 2 years. I started college, and I was on a really good track. I'm not gonna, say I wasn't. I did wind up failing last semester most of my classes, but that was due to some laziness on my part. But really, over this semester that's in right now, I have had so many problems. First off, I've been going to the school for almost 3 years. No verification paperwork, yet the taxes and all that stuff I still had to send in. And they also had to, send that into the government. The government looked over it and they basically approved it. Well, here's the thing. First off, my taxes say married filing jointly. They were filed with another man. The government approved that. I filed it and they approved it. So this semester, after going through all this hard work, getting my GPA up to a 3.7, and working my butt off for my degree, my school wants to go ahead and tell me that I need to refile my taxes. I need to get an amended tax return. I need to change my status from an independent student to a dependent student, when next year I'm going to be an independent student anyway by federal law, because I'll be 24 years old, in February. So really, that's just a bunch of hassle to go through. So I filed my paperwork early. Then they started in with the mess of, you need to change this, you need to change that. Every time they asked, I got it, sent in the next day or maybe a couple of days afterwards. My last bit of paperwork was put in August 18th. I put that paperwork in on August 18th, and they put me to the back of the line. I've gotten a hold of the school and asked them why they put me in the back of the line, and they said it's because I've submitted new information. In my opinion, if I filed my stuff in the first time and they asked me to change it, or they asked me to do it over or put in a new piece of paperwork, I should still be at the status I was, and they should just enter that in as a new piece of information and be done with it. But instead, the school's laziness is causing them to become more and more behind. Well, according to the financial aid person that I talked to, she told me that they're understaffed. Yet, most of the graduates from this certain school work as financial aid officers, stuff like that. Well, if most of the graduates are working as financial aid officers, wouldn't you think that they would have enough common sense to just keep on going? Now, this is my first video, and this is one of many, but this is basically hitting on a few subjects I'll be talking about over the next few weeks. I honestly have decided to make a move to some place where I can be myself, and that's basically my story. I've been married for 2 years, committed to this person. We love each other very much. My family supports our marriage. They don't see anything wrong with it. My sisters in fact, would rather have him as a brother than me. That's just being honest, and it gets quite irritating in my family circle. But not only that, let me give you a little bit of background story. My family is backwoods redneck, as most people would call them, but they're a very good family circle. They just, I don't know, you would think, looking at them, that they would be completely and utterly prejudiced. Well, that is my background. My father growing up told me that if I was gay, I would no longer be considered his son, and I got a whole bunch of threats when I did come out. Over time, through my mom and me talking with my mother, we became very, very close again. My dad and I, growing up, we did not have a good relationship because, in fact, he is my stepfather. Didn't find that out till I was 17. We didn't talk much. Just really bad background growing up. But over time, once I moved out of my parents' house and into a relative's, me and my father and mother, we started communicating more and getting along more, and just all around finding ways to build our relationship back. And build a relationship that I never had with my dad. Well, now it's 8 years later. Well, hold on. Let me recount that. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, so we'll say 6, 7 years later. 6, 7 years later, me and my dad get along. me and he gets along with my spouse. What really grew his respect for my spouse is the simple fact my spouse did something for him that not even my younger sister would do. And that really grew the respect for my father. I grew up chopping wood. I had a wood burning stove. Um, I grew up hunting, fishing. I mean, just all around the normal boy life. I wasn't an all American boy, but I was an all American Southern boy. I still am. Um, I still enjoy hunting. I still enjoy fishing. Um, but I'm a gay American. And as a gay American, I feel that I have been neglected of those rights that every other straight American would get. I do not support gay marriage. And by this I mean marriage is a religious institution and it should be performed by a religious person. My marriage was performed by a religious person, but I do not believe in marriage as it would be defined. What I believe in is a contractual agreement between two people. A marriage is technically a contract between two persons saying, unless there's certain paperwork, and that's just a whole bunch of mess, and we'll go into that later, but the basis of a marriage is two persons go in to a contractual agreement. If one cheats or leaves or they decide to separate, parties get half of what they have. But over the course of many years, marriage and divorce has evolved, and now it's more of a mess. In fact, America has one of the highest divorce rates in the world, and that I don't believe in. I do believe in civil unions, which is technically a gay marriage, but of course the evolution of the term will continue to grow. Um, I'm just basically telling you my story. I know this probably won't get out to many and nobody will want to watch it or whatever because it's really long. But, and over time, I'll show my face. That's for sure. I'm keeping this kind of a little discreet right now because I'm, well, a little bit afraid of the repercussions. But this is my background story, and if you don't like it, turn it off. I'm not out here to be a Chris Crocker. I'm not out here to be anybody, that wants fame. I really don't want it. I had my 15 minutes of fame, and that was enough. But with all that being said, my name we'll just call myself Professor X. We'll go from there, and I'll be posting a new video within the next couple of hours with with a less back and forth tone. I really hope that you guys watch my videos, and again, Professor X, just remember that, and you all have a good day.